go over certain things about our study, certain basics to study, certain basics of the Sanatana Dharma itself, basic study of Vedanta. We know it all. We've been studying together for over a year now. And we know what is it. 2 years started Vijayadashami of 2020, we have 222 Vijayadashami. We know what we are talking about. But certain realities have to be clear. Let me start with a story. In India, we have this habit of selling old vessels, copper vessels, bronze vessels, in exchange by stainless steel, even plastic dabba, something. So there was this lady who was disposing of a copper urn. Is audio clear now? Please confirm.
So audio is clear, sir.
The copper urn. There you are.
It's clear now.
A big copper urn. She was trying to dispose it of. That old vessels fellow had come home and they weigh and they'll take it for in exchange. They'll give you either steel or some money or something. As they were bargaining over the price, the next door neighbor came. He said, "What are you selling?" He said, "I'm selling a copper urn." He said, "Let me see." He looked at the copper. He said, "The date here is 1482. And there are some inscriptions in English as well. This is no ordinary copper vessel. This is antique, a museum piece. Perhaps the government may look at it as antique and pay you a huge value for it, if you are willing to sell." Suddenly, this lady's attitude towards the urn underwent a big change. That which she wanted to dispose suddenly became an object of life. So in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna in one place says, Samatvam, have a certain balance, sameness. Towards what? Ishta, Anishta, Upapattishu. See, nowhere else in the world, in any subject, they have brought it down to such clear understanding. Our interaction with the world, action, the world, will produce results. The results will have certain effects on it. The effect is Ishta, Anishta, just two groups. Ishta means that which you like. Anishta is that which you don't like. Ishta comes with two subdivisions. Something you like much more, deeply like. Another thing you dislike, well, you use the expression, I hate it, just the other expression. These four results. Now, Samatva is an attitude towards Ishta, Anishta. In your life, you will have Ishta results, you will have Anishta results. And your response to these results, the teacher says, have Samatva. It's an attitude. Attitudes. So, What was like some time ago can become a dislike. What was a dislike can become a like the vessel story. Like there are so many likes of things, which would have become dislike, including our own body. So many things you like, now you will say, oh no, I don't like this anymore. So, what was like can become dislike. What is dislike can become like. Our response to this is based on your attitude. This is a reality. Attitudes are born out of culture. For instance, currency notes, demonetized currency notes, 1,000 rupee currency notes. Would you step on them? No? Why? Mahalakshmi. Born out of culture. After all, paper with some words written on it. Just paper. Outside India, it's not valid. Paper. Look at the attitude. Not only is it money for you, apart from money, it is Mahalakshmi for you. Ninth is Lakshmi Puja. People put bundles, wrap it into puja. Mahalakshmi. How has this culture come? Okay. It is called Vriddha Vyavahara. That means you have seen elders in the society respect money. For instance, I've seen my other, my uncles, so many others in the family. They would never put money in the backpack pocket. They say Mahalakshmi is not supposed to be placed in the posterior. Keep it close to your heart. So they will have a pocket here or they will have an inner pocket. My father always used to carry it in a handbag. And what has happened is that culture has come to me. Come to us now. We don't carry it in our back pocket and things. I carry it in this pocket, not in my right trouser pocket. But these days we don't carry much cash. And or in a inner pocket of a jacket or bag. Old books. Forget old books. Sleazy books. Would you keep them? No. Saraswati. A pen. Cracked. Would you kick it? No. Would you pick it up with your leg? No. Accidentally you touch somebody with your leg. An attitude born out of observing the elders. But there is a small problem with this attitude born out of observing elders. The onslaught of the changes that is happening all around can shake this attitude. For instance, now in the Western countries, a child born to a second generation American passport holder from a Tamil family or an Indian family, that child will say, there's only paper, money. Why should I respect it? What's there to respect money? Why should I to worship it? See? Because it is observed, it is not seen now. The Americans, wherever they are staying, they don't see it being observed. So the attitude is shaken. Putting elders in our family, even anybody, you could never see somebody without that Gita. You never see anything. And these days, of course, there's not a reflection on anybody, okay? There's not a reflection on anybody. I'm just saying practices. I've seen there are occasions in which the lady of the house, my mother, has to change her mangalyam. The old thread has to be changed and a new thread has to be put on. She will hold it like this, put on a new thread. After the new thread is tied, she will take out the old. Change. Sometime later. Now, mangalyam is missing. Not there. So now during wedding, they say, Mangalya, Mother Mangal Sutra, they say, make one for the occasion, make a small one. And even small one, people are no longer comfortable wearing. It's because this attitude has grown on culture by observing people. And this attitude can take a beating when somebody criticizes something. You worship monkeys. You worship rats. You worship elephants. You worship stones. It takes a beating because your attitude, maybe reverential, is based on culture. This attitude will get ingrained only when it is the absorption happens from knowledge. Therefore, inquire. For inquiry, antakarana is essential. And antakarana must be prepared. Jnana yogya. So, we'll see a little more on this. Jnana yogya. Preparation is necessary. How do we prepare? There are set rituals into the system, built into the system. Japa, stotra, tirtha yatra, katha. It prepares your mind. It not only grounds you into the culture, it gets you to inquire. An emotion is got into bhakti. So it's a process of education takes place. Now the cultural grounding is shaken because the process of education is gone. And the process of education is gone. Not only has it gone, but it has been substituted, replaced by off-the-cuff remarks. For instance, I've seen a Vedanta teacher talking. Yeah, two nice questions. I heard my Guruji speak. So I don't speak, only Guruji speaks. I don't have a Hindi mein bolte na, aukaat nahi hai. The Guru speaks. The fellow who went goes to a Guru says, I want to meet Bhagwan. How can I meet Bhagwan? Fellow says, Bhajan karo, kirtan karo, karte raho, do. Bhagwan will one day appear in front of you. He goes to another fellow. That another fellow says, hey, Bhagwan, there is nothing like that. Consciousness will come. How will consciousness will come? Your thoughts have to drive. Gone on a trip. What do you mean thoughts will drive? Without inquiring how thoughts will drive, you ask a question, when will my thoughts drive? Can thoughts ever drive? My thought should drive is a thought. So education should not be off the cuff, it should be proper. Quoting my Guruji again, consistent, regular, for a length of time, under a competent acharya. There is a nice saying in Tamil. Adikku oru naal, Amavasaiku oru naal. Adi is a month, once a time. Amavasya happens once in a year, once in a month will not help you get Vedantic education. Why Vedantic education? Education into the system won't happen. No education will happen. You have to have consistent, regular, under a competent acharya for a length of time. Education. Now, this Jagat that we see is huge. It gives me Ishta, Anishta. I have to learn to handle. And I cannot handle it on my own. No human being can handle it on his own. It's a fact. Nobody can handle it on his own. As a child, see, there's Ishvara Swishti. There is something beautiful called the unconscious, which is my protection system, a shock absorber. As a child, I lost a certain faculty in my system. Shocking, of course. The unconscious absorbed it. I grew without any anger. There's so many shocks one has faced. Where have all they gone? As a child, I'm helpless. I can't even turn over. I can't scratch myself. I can't say I'm hungry. I can't say that the milk that you're putting in my mouth is hot or over sweet, or I can't say anything. I'm defenseless. The only thing I know is to cry. So, my search for handling something, what is it? I want something omniscient to take care of. All my problems, I want to surrender onto that altar. Careful. This is the foundation of our Ved, Sanatana Dharma. Without knowing it, you cannot go anywhere. We need a foundation. So my foundation was your foundation. Infallible. My mother can be, can't go wrong. My surrender to my mother was truth. That mother pointed out another person, a father. I accepted that without question, and now the surrender to the father is total. Hold my hand, I will take you. I go to my father and say, "Father, there is a circus. You said you will take me to that circus." It was a Saturday afternoon. Father was having a snack. He said, "Tomorrow." Next day he took me to the circus. Okay. Sometimes next day he didn't take you to the circus. What happens? My trust, my surrender is violated. Papa, you said you would take. You didn't take. It's violated. Where did that go? It went into my unconscious. As I grew older, I realized that the beings on which I put my trusts, my total surrender, all of them consistently violated my trust. Sometimes harshness, sometimes kindness. A slap now. Later on, I am spoiled with extra sweets. On another occasion, I am told, no, sweets are bad for your teeth. Confusion. Everybody chants, Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinaha, this you should do. Then I lead the world around. You should compete. You should achieve. Karmani, you should be satisfied with what you get is one place, another place I go and get. No, you should complete, you should achieve. All grounded on confusion, shallow. My search for the infallible does not end. It will not end. As long as I am basing my observation on attitudes born out of culture. And this search for the infallible, the search for the omniscient is encashed by people who sell you beliefs. Sorry to use a Hindi word, dhanda. God is not available. Locally is not available. You can't get now. And then of course, this release from my suffering or whatever is a salvation. It is not locally available. I have to go somewhere to get it. And to go there, I have to die here. And there, God will accept me. Not if I am Ramachandran or Srinivas. I have to change my name. Roger, Santan, some name I have to give myself. Only then I know. Look at God, problem I have with God. Another person comes and says, no, in God, for God's sake, you have to kill and convert others. There are millions of people who have been sold on this idea and live this idea. Until we get into ground realities, unless we understand the truth behind the whole thing, my search for infallible will never end. You will keep looking for something that will happen hereafter. The Sanatana Dharma, Vedanta Shastra addresses this in the hands of a competent acharya. It addresses this issue. And this issue is truth, universal. Not for Hindus, not for people born in this part of the country, not for people born on the west, eastern side of Ganga. Is universal. The Yogyata preparation is cultural based, habit based, custom based. The knowledge is universal. Okay. Now, this search for the infallible continues in my life. Somebody comes and tells me that the infallible is not available here. Infallible is available elsewhere. I have to reach the infallible by dhyanam, whatever, puja, dhyanam, to go somewhere that gets into my system. Vedanta Shastra comes and tells you, there is no coming, there is no going. You are talking the search for an infallible. If it is a being, if it is a person, please understand the person is going to have limitations. There is no form which is infallible. If I see Krishna as a form, I am going to have problems because Krishna can be available to me only for certain times in the year. Because there are so many devotees waiting for him. Some are stronger devotees. Some are waiting to be slayed by him. One fellow is abusing him. He says, take your chakra and kill him. So the search for the infallible outside me is an experience. Vedanta comes and tells you experience is not going to work. Jnanam has to work. You have to understand that there is a Srishti. To understand Srishti, suppose I told you this pen was available to me in a particular place under a tree. I sat there and the pen is available under the tree. You may possibly smile indulgently for some time. But you all know that this pen had a maker. You don't believe it had a maker. You know it had a maker. It's your knowledge, jnanam. It is not belief. So as long as you believe that there is God somewhere, things like that, you could have people coming and tell you, no, not that way. It's funny, I read somewhere. Hinduism was not there in this period. I don't know, I almost fell off the chair laughing. The word oxygen was invented sometime. So before that, there was no oxygen. Gravity was discovered by one Isaac Newton. Before that, there was no gravity. Yeah. Some imbeciles talk and people listen. You have to understand the truth. So, just as this had a creator, there is a creation, Srishti. The Srishti, is it intelligent or unintelligent? It's an intelligent creation. The intelligent creation presupposes knowledge. And knowledge must rest only on a conscious being. I can invoke the conscious being in a form. In a form. But that form alone is not the conscious being. That's for my convenience. And just as to handle the big world, I learned to surrender. There was no other goal but surrender to my mother, to my father. The father led me to a teacher whom I surrendered. This surrender has to be understood very, very carefully. And from Guru, I learned to surrender to the total Srishti Karta, the cosmic being, who I call Ishvara. And when I talk about the conscious being, and when I talk about when I talk about Ishvara, and when I talk about surrender, I look into your eyes and talk, okay? Because I'm going to talk truth. Watch out. There are people who will talk about the conscious being looking at the and there's a conscious being who is eternal. You will realize it's a bluff. It's reality. How can you surrender to a conscious being who is formless? You have to invoke that conscious being in a form. Ishta Devata, a form of you are like. Mature to grow into a Vishwarupa Devata. Vishwarupa Devata is expression of the entire Srishti in the various forms they are. I do not know formless gold. I know gold in its expression as ring, as earrings, as what is that? They wear it here. They now wear it here. Bangles, girdles, and crowns, and whatnot. The Srishti is expressed as this creation. As I call Ishvara, the Ishvara expresses itself as the Srishti. How does the expression happen? Let's be very clear about it. Okay? No, let's not what do you call pull punches. Let's be very clear about it. How does Ishvara express himself? The infallible. Remember, my search is for the infallible. How does the infallible Ishvara express himself? In the form of laws. In the form of orders. What is the law? To act is in my hands. The outcome is not in my hands. It's a law. It's for everybody in Srishti. Karmani eva adhikaraha te ma phaleshu kadachana. The results come to you by the order. And in that order, there is an order called your karma. So action, results come according to the expression of the order modified by your karma. This has to be knowledge. When you do this, when you understand this, your attitude towards karma undergoes a change. Thereafter, there can be no failure. I have to learn to surrender to this order. Surrender to this order means infallible order. When I do something, there will be phala. Phala will be adrishta phala, drishta phala, ishta phala, anishta phala. And towards them, I must have samatvam, a balance, objectivity. Towards that results, I don't project my failure or suffering. A certain objectivity, a certain comfort with myself as a whole being. There is no angularity here. That is moksha. You are free from suffering. There is no going, there is no coming. This is with result to karma, actions. With respect to, we have, our life goes around. The teachers say, Pancha Anatma. What is the Pancha Anatma? My body, my senses, my family, my position, my possession. None of these are under your hands. It's a reality that you accept. So the body is under an anatomical order. It has to age. It has to, there is growing, graying, going. It's a body dharma. There is an anatomical order. Depending upon the karma, your lifestyle, there can be vyadhi. There is a vyadhi that's in an order. Because there is an order, a doctor can see the vyadhi and suggest a cure. That cure is also in order. Infallible. There is order. My mind works under psychological order. If I am sad, please understand I am in order. I am not out of order. If I am sad, it's an emotion. It's in order. When an outcome is not to my satisfaction, is unpleasant, it produces an emotion called sadness, disappointment. It is in order. And I am in order with that order. Makes me an objective person. Makes me comfortable with me as a person. The infallible works. There is a psychological order. There is a physiological order. There is an order. Economics, law, demand of law of demand and supply. There is an order. You want to send a satellite in space, you have to work within that order. You have to, up to the gravity will pull it down. So you have to work for escape velocity. It's order. It is order, order, order. And to this order, I surrender. Sharanagati. Sharanagati is not giving up on myself. Sharanagati is in the knowledge that this infallible order works. And it works in my favor. Sadness. You know something? When I'm happy, I'm scattered. I don't even know what I'm doing. My thoughts are all over the place. But when I'm sad, I'm together as a person. Just check. You're together as a person. They say when you're happy, you understand the music. You enjoy the music. When you are sad, you understand the lyrics. You're together as a person. The mind exposes certain realities to you. You'll say, I trusted him so much, he'll let me down. Don't leave it at that. Inquire a little further. Being let down by another human being is in order, because that fellow is also seeking the infallible. He possibly sought the infallible in you and didn't get it. Don't blame me. I'm not saying that. You are looking for the infallible. The other person is looking for the infallible. Two blind men looking at the elephant. One saying it's like the legs are like pillars. The other fellow says, what are you talking about legs? There is a fan. He touched the ears. I was let down by somebody. Somebody took my money and disappeared. It's an order. Because if the values are not properly, if the work ethics and values are not properly sustained, it will work like that. There's an order. See, when I'm saying in order means it works within certain. There is an if something goes wrong, it can go wrong. Now talk about a prime minister who had gone visiting to a foreign country. He had taken his whole family. And for the 5 days, the entire embassy staff were looking after the family and taking them out and buying things, and everything was charged to the state account and no work was done. But when another prime minister went, he went alone and he visited them at the embassy, and they had to work extra only to get the files and the information. So even it talks about a certain shallow work ethics. You don't have to study Vedanta to have work ethics. But if there is work ethics, understand it is in order. If there is no work ethics, understand it is in order. In order means mentally, I don't resist the expression of a phenomena. If something can be like this, it can be. If I can be sad, I can be sad. It is not something unique happening to me alone. That gives me objectivity. And in that objectivity, there is a certain action called for to address that phenomenon, that issue. The whole person need not be affected. That issue can be affected, can be addressed by invoking the role. We go back to our study, regular study which we have studied so far. I am a conscious being. I have to play roles. The Bhagavad Gita says there are two established paths given to you. I have given Ishvara. I have given you the path. The path is Lokesmin Dvidha Nishta Pura Prokta Mayanaga Jnana Yogena Sankhyanam Karma Yogena Yoginam. If you want to pursue knowledge of this reality, the exclusion of all other pursuits, that is called Jnana Yoga, a sannyasi lifestyle. Needs a trust in Ishvara. He will look after me. I will not have to think where is my next meal coming from. On the Vijayadashmi day, I spoke to my Swamiji in Kolkata, and Swamiji says, hey, I got into this sannyasa in 1979. 43 years I have so far never had to even think where my next meal is coming from. Hey, what a life! Totally free. That is moksha. Free from the anxiety. Where am I going to stay? What am I going to eat? Is it possible? Yes. A committed lifestyle. Jnana Yoga. Other is, we are not able to give so much commitment. I'm a little worried that, look, I can't really not only risk my life, my about where the food is coming, but I have a family dependent upon me. If not for me, for them, I have to worry. So that I have to take up other activities which take care of keep my home fires burning. Karma yoga, grahastha ashrama. The grahastha ashrama, I pursue this knowledge in and through my all other activities. And then I pursue, what are the activities? Artha and Kama, Dharma. When Artha and Kama are aligned to Dharma, I have no conflicts. Then Artha Kama is not aligned to Dharma, that is conflict. That is also in order. You can't, I see, suppose I said, a follower of a particular faith can do adharma and get away with it. It is totally disorder. How can I say? They say, Annamma was having a headache and she was suffering very badly. Her sister Jasmine did not have it. Why? Because she accepted the other faith. What? Kya baat hai? Doesn't make sense. Order is for everybody. If I do adharma, whoever I may be, I will have conflict. There will be a split in my person. That is in order. I can avoid the split if I am aligned to dharma. Leading a lifestyle of dharma. Aligned to dharma, I have antakarana, which is able to accept surrender to this total order, omniscient order, the infallible that I am looking for. This is Sanatana. All forms are expression of this order, of various orders. One particular phenomenon, order, invoked in a particular form is a deity. Agni is an order, it is a law. It works like this. I invoke Agni in a particular form and call him Agni Devata, reverential. So what do? The moment I make it a Devata and make it reverential, I don't burn plastics and rubber there. Because they cause environmental pollution. That is the understanding of the order. Even if I don't understand that order, I say I don't throw trash into Agni, reverential expression of the order of my attitude. Varuna, I don't pollute water because reverentially I see Varuna Devata. The expression of a Sanatani. They are Sanatanis, not even Hindus. Hindus were somebody's imposition on us. And somebody wrote a meaning for that. See, there's some group of people who will, you can invent words, it's not a big thing. 100 years ago in Tamil, there was no word called, what was the Tamil word for computer? Now they say, what is it called? Kanini or something. So somebody once said, during old days, nail cutter was there. I said, how do you know? They have a word, Nakhanak Krandanam. Either that could have been a Sanskrit compound put together. So let's not get into this trap. This is not only trap, it's crap. Understand Sanatani. What is Sanatani? The Sanatani says, there is only Ishvara here, nothing other than Ishvara. And in that cosmic being, I choose to call Ishvara. And that cosmic being expresses itself as the Jagat. This is also an expression of the cosmic being. Deha, Deva Alaya. It is an expression of that cosmic being. It's expression of that order. That's why we put tilaka. Now will you avoid putting tilaka? You know the order. Suppose I told them you put on Allade. Some people say, put on your forehead. What will, so that nobody can hypnotize you. This is shallow. Somebody off the cuff says, somebody will do vasham of you. You don't have to follow the what is right, proper. Inquire. Inquire. They are being an order of form. The form has a beginning, a middle, an end. The form has to go subtle. Relationships have to undergo changes over a period of time. Certain attitudes have to undergo changes when I discover more. But the basic attitude need not change. What is the basic attitude? Artha, kama are important, yes. But aligned to dharma is an attitude. If that is born out of knowledge, it cannot be shaken. If it is not born out of knowledge, it will be shaken by the onslaught of the exam. One consumer marketing thing is enough to finish. Our dharma, Sanatana dharma, is based on this basic understanding on which there is a knowledge available in the form of books. Gita at the undergraduate level kind of. Upanishads at the graduate level. Brahma Sutra at the postgraduate, doctoral research level. A lot of Prakarana Gantas to aid and assist you in that. We have completed the study for 2 years. The process of study continues. From the next week, we'll start chapter 5. We've completed 4 chapters. We'll start chapter 5. There is a certain methodology of teaching which I shall be following. And this subject deals. This is you. I won't even call it a subject. This is you. The reality is you. It is like you can never see your face without a reflecting mirror. You need a mirror. The Bhagavad Gita holds a mirror. It reveals your Swarupa. It reveals the unconscious in the form of a character called Arjuna and Ishvara personified as Krishna in the form of a Pratibodha. There is a dialogue. We have been fortunate enough, Ishvara Anugraha, Guru Kripa, Shastra Kripa, Atma Kripa, we have come so far. Let this Kripa continue so that we complete this course. And don't just read it as a pastime. This is not a pastime. This is not a pastime. This is not meant for showing off to anybody. It is you. We have Shravana, we are doing 5 days a week or more. We do 5 days a week, mornings, we do Mananam. The 10 minutes only to help you do Mananam for the rest of it. Do Mananam. Mananam is reflecting, remove doubts. When doubts come, examine them. Ask questions. We are available. Ask questions. Don't ask questions on WhatsApp. Call. I want to talk to you on this. Can I meet you personally? We'll explain to you. If I don't know, I will find out from a teacher and let you. But don't send me WhatsApp queries. Where can I find a Bhagwan? I can send you a picture at this. I can't answer on WhatsApp. So, Mananam. Then comes the third and most important step, which we will be studying in chapter 5 and 6. Nididhyasanam. Making this knowledge work for me is Nididhyasanam. It has to become my knowledge. It has to become assimilated knowledge. Even in dream, you won't walk out of your balcony because you know gravity works. It's a well assimilated knowledge. In the same way, my Swarupa should be well assimilated. We pray the Guru Parampara. The Sanatana Dharmi, we are Sanatanis. You know what is our Parampara? Our Parampara is Rishis. The Rishi Parampara. When I say my parampara, I say come from Bhargava Rishi. Bhargava, we all have a parampara, Vyasacharya, Shankaracharya. Somebody says Hinduism started from Shankaracharya. Oh, no. These people speak and they get an audience also. And I'll get a fellow who has studied Vedas. Point. He must have played cricket and got a knock on his head. That's why what little was there went out. Let's be grounded. If you are grounded, and let's learn, teach the next generation to inquire. If you don't know the answer, you say, I will find out it. Don't be just grounded on. At this age, you have to do Punal. Explain why Punal is being done. At the age of 3, you have to do Mundan. Explain why Mundan has to be done. Why ear has to be bare. But explain it. If you don't know, find out. There are some which are purely cultural aspects. There are some which have a deep scientific meaning. You have to do wedding over 4 days. Where does it say? Bhagavad Gita says, where does it say? Bhagavad Gita doesn't allow intercaste marriage. Where does it say? One fellow was lecturing on the YouTube. Varna Sankara will take place if you do that. Just because that's the reason. No, we have forgotten such. Let me not go into all that. Let's make a commitment. Shravana we are doing. Manana you will do. At the end of chapter 5 and chapter 6, I will put you through the process of Nididhyasana. With that, we would have completed the study of 1/3 of the Bhagavad Gita. 1/3 is, okay, remember, Tat Tvam Asi. Tvam Pada will be completed. You will understand the basics of yourself. Then comes the Tat portion, Ishvara. The last 6th chapter talks about the Jiva Ishvara Sambandha. There are 3 relationships in our life. Jiva Sambandha, Jiva Jagat Sambandha, Jiva Ishvara Sambandha. That is what is explained to be beautifully explained. Let's commit ourselves. Let's play it, Lord Krishna. Be in our life. Guru, be in our life. May this Antakarna be totally surrendered. Shadhi Mam Tvam Prapannam. May I have Jnana Yogyata. You are talking about me. May I have the Yogyata to listen, reflect, and listen. Swasti Prajabhya Paripalayantam Nyayena Margena Mahim Mahisha Gobrahmanebhya Shubhamastu Nityam Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu Kale Varshatu Parjanyaha Prithvi Sasya Shalinim Desho Yam Shobharahitaha Brahmana Santu Nirbhaya Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinaha Sarve Santu Niramaya Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kaschid Dukkha Bhag Bhavet Asato Ma Satgamaya Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Amritangamaya Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate Om Shanti 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 Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Hari Om Sadgurunath Maharaj ki jai ho, Swami Dayananda Maharaj ki jai ho, sab santon ki jai ho. Remember this shloka, this is the essence of Satsang. And say this fearless. Brahmana Santu Nirbhaya. Brahmana is a wise person. Fearlessly express it, live it. May Krishna be in your lives. We will meet Friday next, same time.